The O. Henry Playhouse presents After 20 Years. Bob Arnold and Jimmy Wells grew up together. Their friendship was deep and strong. Jimmy was highly conservative. Bob Arnold, however, wanted wealth and fame. After 20 years is the story of their friendship, and many have called it O. Henry's most provocative short story.
And that's the way I feel about Jimmy. This city just doesn't hold any opportunities for us. It's getting too crowded. Well, you have to be born with a gold spoon before you ever get a chance to use one. I'll tell you what we ought to do. Head west. Carve out a fortune for ourselves and become famous. That's what we ought to do, Jimmy. We ought to do it right away.
You know, you amaze me, Bob. 2 weeks ago, you wanted to board a boat and go to the Orient, and before that, it was Canada, and now it's out west. I wonder what it's going to be next week.
Well, I've made up my mind. I'm not sticking around here any longer. There's a freight train pulling out for St. Louis tonight, and I'm going to be on it.
You're not serious, Bob. How would you make a living? What do you know about guns and horses? If you can't handle both of them, what I hear, you better stay out of the West.
Well, I can learn, can't I? All right, how about it? Will you come with me?
No. No, Bob, I think I belong here. I can't explain it, but whenever I wake up, I just get the feeling this city is mine. I think it wants me to stay.
Yeah, I understand. But I've got to go. I've got to carve out a fortune for myself.
How much money have you got to start with?
$15.
Here. Just in case you run into trouble, huh?
Much obliged. But I'll tell you, if I get lucky, I'll pay you back 100 for one.
Just give me 1 for 1. I'll be satisfied.
Hey, what time have you got?
Well, I think it's, about 10.
All right, it's 10 o'clock. May the 15th, 1880. I'll meet you back here in 20 years, and we'll have a big reunion. And if I don't show, you'll know it's because I'm dead.
If I'm not here, you'll know it's because I'm dead, too. To the west.
To the west, Jimmy.
Am I dictating too fast for you, Emily?
Oh, no. Not at all. And I hope Old Faithful is never put back in working order.
What's bothering you?
My curiosity. Did Bob Arnold really go west, Mr. O'Henry?
Mm-hmm.
Well, did he become famous? Did he make his fortune?
Well, not right away. For a long time, he kept moving. Driven by this hunger for possession, and he had a lot of disappointments before he finally shook hands with fate.
He learned to ride a horse and to handle a gun?
That he did.
Well, while he was searching for his fortune, how did he sustain himself?
Odd jobs, cowhand during roundup time, and for a while he worked in the railroad bed. He learned to deal cards with the best. He never stayed in any one place too long, and he never forgot his reason for going west. This burning inside only grew brighter with the passing of time.
You said he had a lot of disappointments before he shook hands with fate. How did that happen?
Well, it was years later. He was working as a dealer of faro in Abilene. And he heard about a territory called Kilbane, and about Leif Kilbane, who was the owner of it. I guess you'd say it was then that Bob decided to take the other turn in the road. Even in Kilbane, the people stopped and stared as Bob Arnold rode into town. Maybe it was the way he sat his horse, or the manner in which he rode, high and proud. Or maybe it was the faraway look he had in his eyes. The look of a man who wants too much, too quickly.
You ridden a long way?
Could be.
Always wear 2 guns.
Anything else strike your fancy, ma'am?
Your shirt. It's made of silk. Makes me think maybe you hail from the East. Well, am I right?
About my gun or my shirt?
You might give me both answers.
You know, a friend once told me that to survive in the West, you had to know how to handle a gun or a horse. I found out real quick just how right he was. Now, as for shirts, well, I just like silk. That ain't your questions, ma'am.
Not exactly. But I imagine for the time being it'll have to do. I'm Fern Kilbane.
Oh? Are you the wife of the man who owns this town?
I'm his sister. What do I call you?
Bob. Bob Arnold.
It doesn't fit. I think I'll call you Silk. You just passing through, you plan on settling down here for a while?
Well, now, that all depends. On your brother, of course. Any chance of seeing him?
Follow me. Leif, I want you to meet Silk Arnold. Silk, this is my brother, Leif Kilbane. Now, don't let him frighten you.
I won't.
Pay no heed to my sister. She just likes to say things to shock people. What can I do for you?
Well, I've ridden a long ways, hoping you might give me a job.
Lots of people think working for me isn't exactly healthy.
And just as many people say that the men who work for you wind up rich. In my way of thinking, that's more important than health.
Can you use those guns?
I've had some practice.
My brother's one of the best draws in the territory. You want to try him?
If it's his pleasure, I'd be glad to accommodate him.
It's my pleasure. Care to take off your coat?
No need.
Oh, Leif, if that had been for real, you'd be a dead man.
Maybe.
Silk Arnold was a mixture of many things. If he hadn't been in such a hurry, he might have gone down in history as one of the truly great men who built our country.
I wonder what made him like he was, Mr. O'Henry.
Ambition, Emily. Uncontrollable ambition.
What happened to him after he arrived in Kilbane?
He grew fast and he began to grow rich. He'd take a chance on anything, providing he thought the price was right. In a short space of 5 years, he became second in charge to Leif Kilbane.
Give us a drink, Charlie. We need it.
How much do you figure those cattle will bring?
Oh, I'd say about $6,000.
That's not bad pay for a few uncomfortable nights on the range.
No, but it could be a lot better.
Sometimes I wonder if anything ever satisfies you.
Well, did you miss me?
Which one must you mean?
Did he say yes?
I didn't ask him.
Say, would you two tell me what you're talking about?
I told Leif to ask you a simple question.
Like what?
Like, why don't you marry me?
One of these days, Fern, you're going to say that once too often. And I'm going to scare you to death by saying yes.
Why don't you say it and find out?
Worth chucking the boys.
You listen to him? Here I am throwing myself at him, and what does he do? He asks about the boys. Sometimes I wonder why I love him. All right, Mr. Moneyman, Chuck arrived yesterday. The money's in the office safe. He said it was around $25,000.
That's impossible. The bank's only got $15,000 on deposit.
Well, Chuck thought he'd surprise you. On the way back, he and the boys stopped at a railway terminal, and they took $10,000 from the paymaster's safe.
That Chuck's a fool, Leif. It's one thing to be wanted by the state or county. When you start playing with the federal government, you're just asking for trouble.
Silk, no one can identify any of us. There isn't a single picture poster of any of our men around. If the government men don't know what we look like, what's there to worry about?
You've both got more money than you can spend. Why don't we go away? Go somewhere where we can live like human beings.
Would that make you happy, Fern?
Uh-huh.
One of these days, we'll do it your way. But right now, speaking for myself, well, I'm just not ready. Say, when'd you hire the new dealer?
A couple days ago.
Let's get over there and see how good he plays poker.
Bring your beer. Pair of fives checked.
How about 30?
Call.
30? I'm a fool, but I'll call.
A man who cheats at cards is a fool. But a man who cheats awkwardly is no good. Now, get out of here.
You talk pretty big to an unarmed man.
I guess he's asking for satisfaction, Silk.
Yeah, I guess he is.
Oh, it's going to leave a scar, Silk.
He must have been a man filled with great torment.
That he was, Emily. You see, I knew him very well. At least I knew him as well as anybody could know a man like Silk Arnold. I remember quite vividly the morning that tragedy struck close to him. I learned something else about him that day, too. I learned his personal code of violence and punishment.
Where are you from? What difference does it make?
Leif, where's Fern?
In the office.
Why?
Doesn't make any difference to me. You know, I don't think I'm innocent. Why don't you beat it? Getting a little old to talk that way, aren't you?
Hey, what's going on here?
His name is Pop. He's an artist. He's doing a charcoal sketch of me.
Yeah? Hey, that's good, too. Not as pretty as you are, though.
There, it's finished, Miss Fern.
Oh, it's lovely. I'll have to show that to Leif. Oh, Silk, would you give him $10 for me, please?
Sure.
I'm afraid I can't change a $20 piece.
Oh, it's all right, Pop. Keep the change.
No sketch is worth $20. I'll go into the bar and get it changed. Unless...
Unless what?
Unless you'd like to have me make a sketch of you.
Make you feel better? You just start drawing.
Let's sit down. I hope you like it, Mr. Silk.
He's dead.
I killed him. I killed him fair and square. He drew. Might too slow.
He was a good 30 years older than you.
Proves no man can live forever. All my life, been hearing how Leif Kilbane was the fastest gun in the territory. That ain't true no more.
And now you've got yourself a big reputation.
Yeah. You could say that.
Well, I'm calling your reputation.
Well, help yourself, big man.
Whenever you're ready.
Cripples me for life. Wanted to kill me.
Because I would have been too easy, as it is from now on out the rest of your life. You'll look at those wrists and you'll remember just how short a reputation you had. Now get out.
Leif's death deeply affected Silk. Took him a little while, but he finally broke up the gang.
But what happened to Fern?
She married Silk. They bought a huge ranch and stocked it with the finest cattle money could buy. Then he and Fern began to live the quiet, respectable life she'd always dreamed about.
Tell me, Mr. O'Henry, did Silk ever kill anyone?
Mm-mm. Emily, he broke the law every which way, but he never broke the law of God. He never took a life.
What finally happened to him?
Well, he and his wife prospered. This cattle ranch became known as one of the finest in the West. People came from all parts of the country to buy us thoroughbred horses. And one day, Silk began adding up the years. He realized it was time to keep his promise to Jimmy Wells.
You've been 1,000,000 miles away all day. Is there anything I can do to help?
No, not really. I've just been thinking how quickly time goes by. Do you realize that we've known each other for 15 years?
16. You know, I can even remember what you were wearing the first time I saw you.
Keep on talking like that, and I'll believe that you really love me.
Well, now, don't you ever doubt it. Now, what's on your mind?
Well, take a little trip.
Oh, good. Where are we going?
I'm sorry, sweetheart, but I've got to go alone.
Trouble?
No. No, it's just that when I left New York, I promised a very good friend of mine that if I should live, I'd come back in 20 years and keep a date with him. And you know that date's going to be up on May 15th.
Well, how do you know he's still alive?
I don't. But I owe it to him to find out. Besides, I owe him $1,500. You see, when I left, he gave me his last $15. I told him if I was lucky, I'd pay him back 100 to 1.
Well, it sounds crazy to me. How long would you stay in New York?
Well, if he meets me, I'll stay overnight and leave the next day. I couldn't stay away too long from you.
A 5,000-mile trip just to keep a promise made by 2 kids 20 years ago. I'll never understand it. And I'll never be able to talk you out of it. So when are you leaving?
Tomorrow morning.
All right. I'll help you pack.
Hey, just a minute. Not until I tell you how much I really love you.
The next day, Silk started on his long journey. He gave himself 1 week to ride 300 miles. In St. Louis, he caught the eastbound train. And finally, on May 15th, 1900, he arrived in New York City. That evening at 10 o'clock, he stood waiting at the appointed place to keep his date with Jimmy Wells.
Nothing to worry about, officer. I'm just waiting for a friend.
Kind of a strange place to be waiting, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. 20 years ago tonight, I promised him that if I was still alive, I'd come back and we'd have a big reunion. If he's still alive, he ought to be showing up any minute now. Hey, by the way, there used to be a restaurant on this street called Big Joe's. Whatever happened to it?
Well, it was torn down several years ago.
Oh?
What time was your appointment?
10 o'clock.
So after that, how long you expect to wait?
Well, I'll stick around till midnight anyway. I've traveled 2,500 miles to keep this date.
Well, I hope your friend shows up, mister.
Yeah, so do I.
That you, Bob?
Jimmy, I'm sure glad to see you. How are you?
Great, great.
Look wonderful.
20 years. I can't believe it. How'd they treat you out west?
Oh, great, Jimmy. Just great. You know, you've kind of changed a little bit since the last time I saw you.
Yeah. Let's go have a cup of coffee.
It's a good idea. What is this? You're not Jimmy Wells?
That's right, I'm not Jimmy Wells. And you've been under arrest for 10 minutes.
I've been what?
Don't try anything. I got the street covered. Oh, I almost forgot. That patrolman you were talking asked me to give you this note. What does it say?
There, Bob. I was at the appointed place on time. I recognized you as Silk Arnold, wanted by the federal government. Somehow I couldn't bring myself to arrest you, so I went around and got a plainclothes man to do the job for me. Officer Jimmy Wells. Well, at least it's good to know he's alive.
But how? How did Officer Wells know he was Silk Arnold?
Remember the old man, the sketch artist? He was more than a sketch artist. He was a government agent. When he sketched a picture of Silk, reprints were sent all over the country. Silk never knew, but from that day on, he was a marked man. Ironically, he was charged with the train robbery that Chuck had committed.
It's too bad he was caught, Mr. O'Henry. True, he did a lot of things which were bad, but I'd be willing to swear he was a good man deep inside. It's a shame he remembered to keep his promise.
You're wrong, Emily. Keeping his promise was the best thing that could have happened.
Why?
Because he was sentenced to 3 years in the federal penitentiary and released. He went back to Kilbane. Today, he and Fern have 2 sons and a little daughter. The past has been paid for, and the future is promising as tomorrow. And I'll tell you something else about him. When he comes to town, he still rides high and proud. His eyes no longer reflect a man who wants too much too quickly. They reflect something new and more important.
What, Mr. O'Henry?
A contentment known only to free men.
Oh, I'm glad. I knew I was right. I knew that down deep, Silk Arnold was always a good man.
Yes, ma'am, that's right. But we don't get it down on paper, the secret will always remain with us. Now, do you think that'd be fair?
I'm terribly sorry. I forgot all about Colonel Durbin and your deadline.
Would you believe it, Emily? I sometimes forget deadlines, too.